How are we going, everybody? Happy weekend for everyone. Well, if you're watching it another day of the week, well, wait till the Saturday, Sunday, watch it again, and happy weekend. It's pruning time. Summer pruning of our fruit trees. We did this one a few weeks ago. I don't know exactly how long ago, but we pruned the apricot tree down. Now this one was 2.5, 3 meters tall. You could see some of the sizes in branches that we had to cut off, quite large in fact, and we had to bring it right down. Now the aim is to open up the center, create a bit of airflow, sunlight and all that sort of stuff. And in some cases your fruit might not be ripening fast enough. The season's crazy. It has been a little bit up and down. Today's a nice calm day, perfect to be out in the garden. Enjoy it. But if you're going to be pruning your trees, make sure you bring them down to arm's reach. I brought this down a little bit more because it didn't have any fruit on it, only 1 or 2 this year because I had to clean it up. Now, when you do prune down, like I said, it's all the upright growth. You can't see it here. That's the result, the finished product. In winter, you can go back and clean it up. Here's an example of upright growth. This is what I'm talking about here. This is the new summer growth. That's what we talk about pruning back, summer growth. So a summer prune for the summer growth. Bring it back down. And in this case, because, come back over here. Every tree is different. Unless they're identical in shape, I can't tell you how to prune your tree exactly, but take reference to what I've got to do to this one, for example. I've got to take a lot of this upright growth out. If I don't, look at that, nearly stab yourself. These are sharp. the lower number 1 and 4, get yourself a pair. I've got to prune this down. If I don't thin out all these branches in the middle, it's just going to become diseased and not even fruit. Now, I'm going to take out some of the middle part, and we need to establish a branch out here. The most obvious one is this one here. Have a look at that. That's on the outside. I don't need these ones. They're growing too far in. This is growing out, but again, it's growing up. I don't want it to grow up. Upright growth gives you very little or no fruit on it. You need it to grow out. The horizontal branches actually produce more fruit than the upright growth. So let's prune out the center. Have a close look. We're going to clean it up. Whatever I don't want to keep, I'm going to cut it down to a couple of buds. And eventually, it may produce some spurs for me. For example, here, see that? That can become a fruit-bearing spur there. That's what I want to establish with these upright growths. You can see I've cut them once before, and they've shot all the way up. So I'm just going to cut them back down again to a couple of buds, like this one here too. And we'll go back in and clean it up afterwards once we've thinned it out a bit. So I've taken it right down. Yes, it's low. I've still got plenty of growth here, and again, this is all going to just jump back out again next springtime. Maybe not all of it, some of it will, and I'll start establishing more of a growth out this way if I want to. I might even keep this. I'll just take that back a little bit because it's a bit flimsy, so I'll just take it back to about there for now and take the tops off these. There's too many here. I don't need all this. Take all that off, take that off. That's okay. Now, it is growing out. If I want to, I can just see how flimsy that is? Look at that. It's growing outwards because it's hanging so low, it's trying to grow new growth. But I can train this up, put a stake underneath it and shape it like that. You can train your trees, and as they start to thicken up in the branch, they'll hold that shape and you can remove the framework. So, you know, at the moment it doesn't worry me. I'm not too fussed about the actual structure as long as it's low enough to harvest and wide enough to get enough sunlight in the middle. So we do that. Now this one that I'm going to train, again, it's growing straight up. I don't want that. I want it to grow out. So I will take it back down to this bud. See this outward facing bud down there? I'm going to cut it to there like that. Now this upright growth, useless. This one, beautiful. We're going to cut it off just here, right there like that. And again, this one is growing straight up, useless, cut it back down. This one, I really don't need it here at the moment, especially this one. Cut it right off if I want, leave a bud on it at the bottom. It may produce a fruit down there. And the same with these ones here. Just cut them back to 1 or 2 buds. For now, just keep them like that. Again, here, useless. So I've cut it once, I'm going to cut it again, and I'm just going to force it to become a fruit-bearing spur. And these, what's going on here? Just go away. I don't need you. Look at this. This is all dieback. It's dead wood here. Got growth there, but see from here and up, it's useless to me. I'm a tall fella, but I still don't want to climb a ladder. Even that's too high for me. Look at that, it just broke off. So we're going to cut it back to this wonderful growth we got going on down there, like that. And the same with these ones here. Now, folks, in the cooler regions of Victoria, Insects aren't as active at the moment because our temperature's fluctuating a lot, hot and cold, but in the warmer parts, you know, fruit fly is still active. Get your fruition fruit fly trap. It's the only one that actually catches pregnant female egg-laying fruit flies. Hang them up around the garden, and that way you'll prevent your trees and vegetable garden getting attacked. There you are, cleaned up. Cut it back to the boundaries of what you want it to be, actually just inside the boundaries of what you want it to grow to, so that it's got room to grow again. Don't ever cut to the exact boundary, because then it's always going to grow bigger and larger and wider from what you want it to be. Always a little bit smaller and work its way back up again. This is the orchard, folks. Now, if you've been following me on our social pages and all our other platforms that we do it on, this is the orchard that I planted a year and a half ago. A couple of hundred fruit trees, maybe more now, I've lost count. And it's apples, pears, nectarine, peaches, the whole lot, one of everything. Heritage fruit trees, yes, we're going to open it up to the public soon. We'll let you know all about that. We'll have lots of things for you to be able to come out of here and enjoy. In the meantime, give me some time. I've still got to work on the trees. They're young, but I'm going to talk about this young tree here. Look at that. It's growing straight up. It needs to grow out. And what I need to do here is bring the height down. Now, I don't want my trees to be any taller than 2.5 meters tall. I want them to be wide. You can see the spacing I've created here. I've got the room for that. If you haven't got the room, espalier your tree. Still, you don't need it to let it grow too high. So what you can do is bring it down, and that's what I'm going to do with these trees. I'm going to take the center out, right down in the middle, because that is absolutely useless to me. Well, it isn't, because I don't need it to grow tall. That's why it is. If I did want it to grow tall, I'd probably leave it in there and cut all the understory out. For example, I could remove all this lower branching here and grow it from here upwards, which would mean I'd need a ladder to climb up and harvest, but I don't want to do that. So I'm actually going to leave this young branch. I'm going to take that one off, that. Now, this is an open vase shape that I want to create. Come around here, look at this little branch here. See this little fella here? He's no good to me, really, because I've got one above, one below. I'm just going to cut it back to there, keep it a stub, and I might be able to get fruit off this in a couple of years' time. And the same with this. There's a fruit-bearing spur. That's one I'm going to be able to keep and create it into producing fruit for me. This is growing in. Take that off to a stub. Again, I've got double branching going on here. Too much. I can take that one away and bring all this down to here, like that. For now, you can be fussy and cut it perfectly, but I'm going to be cleaning them up again afterwards. Oh, there, like that. Now, there are still too many branches here. This is a cluster that's going on that's no good to me. That's in the way. That's from the bottom, so I'll probably need to shape this out like that. Hold it out, tie it down, weigh it down, and that will hold its shape there. That's the same there. This one's not too bad, but there's too close. Actually, I am going to remove this one back down to there for now. And this again, take the middle out, shape it out like that. Take this one back. You know what? Just get rid of it for now. We'll have plenty more coming on. Like that there. See, this is what I've created there now. Look at that. Open that up, and it has to be tied down. Folks, the tree won't take that shape unless you tie it up, but it's already in a better condition. Take that back a bit, it's too long. Always take your branches back to about a 30 centimetre, 40 centimetres. You don't want them nice and long like that, which look great, but they become non-productive. You need them to fork out every 30 or 40 centimetres. Realistically, that's what you want if you want a small to medium tree. Anything taller than that, obviously you can let them grow longer. And that's what we're doing. We're going to shape that up like that. Look at this. That's already looking nice. Even if I did take that off, it wouldn't matter, would it? But that's a preference, you know. It's not bothering me. You can leave it and work with it. Work in progress. They're always growing, always producing. Now, these trees haven't been watered for over a year, and I reckon many of you would have very little experience as far as being able to leave a tree like that without it having problems. And it's a lot of preparation work. You can see the lawn's grown over the compost and the mulch that I've put in there. I was going to compete against this, and I told you in the past that I'm going to try and pull all this grass out. But in actual fact, I had left the grass underneath there. I didn't spray the herbicide to kill off the grass underneath. I literally I put shovels of black grit around each tree. I put compost, which is mushroom compost, manure, and then I put my native bark on top. But there is a drip system running through the middle of that. It hasn't been turned on because it's been the wet season, La Nina. if you do the right composting, and the vital part is the black grit because it stops the acidity cooking the trees, and you can see the growth in a year. These trees were only sticks, folks. They were only little twigs. A couple haven't taken off. Out of 250 trees, only 1, 2, 3 or 4 trees have really taken their time to grow, and we have got fruit. Just before we go, check out the fruit. What have we got here? We've got Tropical Beauty. Only 2 fruit. Not bad for the first time, eh? Let me show you some more. We've got a pear here, a couple of pears. What are they? Sorry. Conference, European pear. Don't know it. I'm going to try it, that's for sure. Oh, have a look at this little beauty, eh? These are delightful. Plenty of apples, folks. If you get your black grit into the garden, this is what the results are like. You can start to get beautiful fruit just like this. Oh, mate. I don't know what variety it is, but it is delicious. It's like a tropical paradise. It is really delicious, folks. Let me finish this. If you want your fruit trees, no. This is to die for, and this is what it's all about. Growing it yourself and enjoying it fresh from the garden, straight into the tummy. If you have to cook it, take it in the kitchen and eat it. Mulching. Again, this whole area is going to get mulched over. Once a year is what I'm going to be doing with my trees, and that's what you should be doing too. Apply your black grit every 6 months and liquid feed it. Don't liquid feed it now because they're going to go into dormancy. Just the black grit will be all they need. And then as we get into springtime, late winter, start liquid fertilizing, Eco Butch, Liquid Gold, and then watch your trees grow. But we'll talk more about pruning as we go into the dormant season, because we've got to do a bit of cleaning up in winter. And for those who need to spray some nectarine and peaches, we'll talk about that as well. In the meantime, check out our website. We've got black grit. You've got to buy one, get one free. No, you get 2 for the price of 1 with a double discount on that. I'm trying to get this right. This is what I was told. 2 for the price of 1 with a double discount this weekend only on black grit items. So check out the black grit range with the Eco Boost or Eco Butch and Liquid Gold. 2 for 1 with a double discount. VasilisGarden.com. From me, Vasily, Maresi. Oh, mate, Maresi, all right.